Welcome back to Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. It is 12:04 Sunday going into Monday, October 21st, 2024. Lee, how you doing? How you been?
I'm doing all right. I've been all right. How about yourself, bud?
I'm good. The Steelers are 5-2, and they
Yep.
they look like a 5-2 team tonight. I think they played
They
well. They
did.
had a rough start, slow start, like they've been doing most of the season. But what else? When things are going good, second half just domination on both sides of the field. This week, usually it's been the defense who, when they've been on, they've been doing good. They've been shutting teams down in the second half, and they did that again. But this time, we also got some points from the offense too.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely looked a little shaky at first, and probably because this was Russell Wilson's first start in 6 weeks, and he probably had a little bit of nerves to come out there, and but once he started making some passes, and I think he started getting some confidence, and he started to kind of show why he is Russell Wilson, and why he can still play the game, as an elite quarterback. I mean, again, it's just his first start, but he definitely, you know, played very well today in his first game back after, having that injury over the offseason and the preseason game. But he looked pretty good, after, getting a couple passes in.
Yeah, he's the story of the game for sure. I would say he finished up 16 to 29 for 264 yards, two touchdowns, just sacked one time. I thought big thing looking at those numbers there is he started at least two out of seven. So
Hmm.
if you take off that rough start, you're getting 14 of 22 the rest of the way, and some solid play from him in the second half there. He was given good field position by the defense, who played really well in that second half
Yeah.
too. But he was able to take advantage of it. Sometimes this year the Steelers offense hasn't taken advantage of it, but he did that today with what was it, three touchdowns or four touchdowns in the second, three touchdowns in the second half,
Yeah.
and a field goal, which just impressive. Nice to see some offense 2 weeks in a row now. You got the Steelers getting 30 points, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, something we haven't seen in a while, and it was nice to see them put up some yards and put up some points like that, and I'm hoping, next game maybe 40 points. Let's see if they can push it to the limit, see what else they can do. But
Yeah.
they definitely uh, looked, like you said, like a 5-2 team out there playing tonight. Again, like you said, it was a slow start like we've seen all season. And like you said, normally it's the defense that, kicks in overdrive, but it was definitely the offense this time. So it was, kind of nice to see
Mm-hmm.
some plays and things like that with the offense moving down the field and, making some nice big plays. So it was good to see tonight.
Yeah, I it's hard to argue with what they've been doing. What they did tonight, I should say, more specifically. I surprised to see Beanie Bishop be the star of the defense. We both gave our predictions. He wasn't a guy we named, but it's good that he got to get some redemption for the rough game he had was 2 weeks ago. Gave up the
Yeah.
final TD there, and then he also had a little bit of trouble throughout that game. I don't think it's fair to blame him on that last TD. That was a rough situation for him there. But
Mhm.
two picks tonight. Um, it's just good to see a guy get a chance and then take advantage of that chance, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he got the opportunity to to get out there and play, and he made some plays that helped turn things around for us in that game. So almost having a pick six, getting stopped at the 1 yard line. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was good to see him make some plays out there after like you said, redeeming himself.
Yep. And then we had Aaron Rodgers in that game. He ended up going 24 39, 276, one touchdown, two interceptions. We only got one sack against him, which was a little bit surprising. What do you think of Rodgers tonight? I, it wasn't overly bad, I don't think, but he wasn't much of a star of the game, I would say, either.
Yeah, not really. I mean, he's definitely a lot older, and you can kind of see it, as he's been playing. But he can still make some good plays and be able to throw the ball like he needs to. And yeah, he really wasn't the the star that we normally see. I think that just the style of play that's going on with the Jets right now, and just now that they incorporated Devontae Adams, I think he just kind of needs to get into a rhythm with things. But I mean, he was decent out there, but it's definitely not Darren Rodgers we've seen in the past.
Yeah, he's still trying to figure it out with the Jets. I think he did get, like you said, he got Devontae Adams back today. He didn't have too great of a game himself. He had 3 catches in the first half, but I'm pretty sure he got shut out in the second half. He ended up with 3 catches for 30 yards. Brees Hall did the most damage as a receiver. Actually, he had 6 catches for 103 yards, including a 57-yard one there. As a rusher, they pretty much kept him in check. 12 carries for 38 yards, but he did get a touchdown there. Garrett Wilson, 5 catches, 61 yards, dropped a couple balls. One of the balls led to an interception, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't too great of a game himself there. The first game, you have Adams and Wilson together. Going back to the Steelers receivers, your boy George Pickens, you asked for him to step up, or did you just had him as the LVP, or did you ask him to step up too? I can't remember.
No, I didn't ask him to step up. I had him as the LVP of the season, and he definitely stepped up tonight with some catches.
Yep. 5 catches, 111 yards, and a TD. The guy I had as the LVP also got himself a TD later in the game. Van Jefferson. He only had 2 catches, but one of those was a touchdown. Nice to see some receivers get their first touchdowns on the season. That's something that we haven't seen. We've got some rushing TDs from Fields. We've got some TDs to a couple of the guys. But finally for Pickens, he gets himself his first TD. I'm sure he's going to be happy all week. Pat Freiermuth only had 2 catches, but he had a total of 51 yards, along with 31. Calvin Austin, 1 catch for 36. So it's only 16 total, but it was spread out against 6 guys. So that's a nice little spread there. Most of the damage being done with Pickens for sure. Najee had another good game. Ended up with 21 carries, 102 yards, 1 TD. Jaylen Warren, 12 carries, 44 yards, 3.7. So both of them, you like what you see from the run game. It's probably going to be a little less overall without Justin Fields in there, but it might be more of a traditional run game coming forward here now, right?
Yeah, for sure. And, it was good to see Najee out there 2 weeks in a row, over 100 yards, and, just still playing, continuing his play from last week with the Raiders game into this week. I mean, he definitely out there still breaking tackles, making some good rushing plays and things like that. And he looked like he was just ready to play just from last week to continue it on. So, he seemed fire up too. And it was definitely good, like with Jaylen Warren coming back and him getting some touches and him getting incorporated back into that offense and having that 2-man, punch with the running game right there. So it was pretty good. So once he kind of gets back on track, I think, we'll have that nice little duo like we had last year with them too. So, it's good to just see how, things worked out with them rushing as well.
So do you got the team stats for this week?
Yeah, I got us right here. So again, final score, Steelers 37, Jets 15. Total yards, Steelers had 409 yards to the Jets 323. 409 yards, it might be the most they've had so far this season. I'll have to go back and look at that, but definitely good to see over 400 yards total. Total
was that yards. The number last year? The big deal that everyone made was the 400 with Canada?
Yeah, it was the 400 game. Yeah, that was the big thing last year. Yeah.
Glad we're over that part at least.
Yeah. For sure, yeah. Pass yards were about the same. Steelers had 260, Jets 269. Rush yards, Steelers had 149 rush yards to the Jets 54. So, good on the defense to be able to stop the run and us having a good running game this game. Yards per play were about the same. Steelers 6.2 to the Jets 5.9. First down, Steelers had 21 to the Jets 17. Third down efficiency, this is an area we still need to work on. Jets had 3 for 10, and the Steelers 5 for 14. So it's just something they still got to kind of work on. Fourth down efficiency, the Jets were 2 for 2, and the Steelers were 1 for 2. Total plays, Steelers 66 to the Jets 55. Each team had 1 sack. Each team had 4 punts. Penalty yards, Jets had 5 for 50 yards, and we did a lot better today, 4 with 36, but still got to kind of clean up some of them easy penalties that they're making. The The only
Oh,
turnover.
I'm not letting you go with that. No, they did good today on the penalties. You got
Yeah, I mean 4
there,
for
there was the
36.
one hold. There was a one hold that did stall a drive a little bit, but
Yeah,
overall 4 for 36. You can't brush that over, Lee. That's been your sticking point here.
it is. And
Come on.
it's definitely a lot better for sure.
Uh
But
huh.
I want to just let's get a game with nothing. Let's get a
No
game.
one's
Let's
gonna.
see.
No team goes a game without any turn or without any penalties.
I know. Okay, I'll give them their props.
I'll
They
let you
they
keep
did they
going.
did they did great with the penalties. I will give them their props tonight. They did great.
Uh huh.
This is what we want to see. Low number of penalties and low
Uh
number of
huh.
yards. 4 for 36. That's probably the best we're going to see for a while. So I'm
Exactly.
going to give them I'll give them their flowers tonight. I'll do that. Only 2 turnovers. The Jets threw 2 interceptions that you already mentioned, and time of possession. Steelers had 32 minutes and 9 seconds to the Jets 27 minutes and 51 seconds. So there you go with the team stats.
Looking through those, I think big one for sure is the rushing yards there, 149 to 54. Defense did their job. Offense did their job for the most part. I I I think that when you look at all these, this shows what happens and how you get a 37-15 win.
Yeah.
Turnovers held them down low on rushing, held them pretty much in check everywhere throughout the game here. Very solid win for the Steelers for sure. Any thing takeaway you want to get into that I haven't mentioned yet?
No, I mean they just like I said, 2 weeks in a row, 30 plus yards. It seems like things are kind of maybe slowly clicking with this offense. Again, the 2 weeks we've had with 30 yards, we had 2 different quarterbacks. Just seeing how things worked out with Russ tonight, was interesting. Again, it was a little shaky. The crowd was booing at first, but like I said, I think he was just a little nervous because he hadn't, been out there playing for a little bit. And, but as he got into a little bit of a rhythm. He gained some confidence, making some nice plays. Threw a touchdown, things like that. Rushed for one himself. And so I think that it kind of helped boosted his confidence and getting things going. And one thing just was just interesting. We didn't hear much of TJ Watt tonight, which was
Yeah, they
something.
they did keep him in check. He did have a nice SWAT as they
Yeah,
want to call it. And then but they were doing a lot of work over there on that side and check just keeping them in check for sure, bumping them a
yeah,
lot with the tight ends, the running backs, and everything like that. He was never. It seemed like the whole game they had a game plan of making sure that he wasn't going to
yeah.
be the guy that could beat them. And
Mhm.
Rogers was getting the ball out pretty quick too. I know last week I think he got sacked a bunch. But I could be wrong. I might be thinking about a couple weeks ago. I know they were in London and stuff, and it might be
Yeah.
throwing off my timing here. But yeah, only one sack from him. It's something that I wasn't expecting to see. I thought we were going to have a chance to get a couple here this week, but no, that didn't happen. We never talked about this week about Highsmith coming back. But it's nice to see
Yeah, that
he's
was
back
another
out
one.
there.
Yeah.
He didn't have the sack himself either, but he seemed to have a couple plays where he was able to beat his one-on-one there. It's just nice to get some people healthy again, right?
Yeah, it was good to see him out there and be able to, make some plays too, getting kind of close to, pressure Rodgers and things like that. And just to kind of see him out there, he looked healthy, he looked pretty good. Um, Still, one guy we really haven't seen much yet is Roman Wilson, so hopefully
He
maybe,
he got an injury this week too. Yeah,
okay.
he got
Yeah,
re-injured. Yeah. Uh-huh.
hopefully, we could see him soon before the season end, but it was
Uh-huh.
definitely good to see Alex Highsmith for sure. Something I was just looking up real quick. I wanted to see what the Steelers plus minus was for turnovers, and they're coming into the game. They were plus, like plus 7 turnover ratio. So
Mm-hmm.
with adding 2 more, it looks like maybe a plus 9
Plus
right now.
9. Yeah,
So
that's not bad at
uh,
all.
yeah, it says the Packers and Bills are the only 2 that have just a little bit better on the plus minus ratio for turnovers right
Mm-hmm.
now. But looking pretty good, in that area. When you get turnovers in a game like that, it definitely helps with being able to turn the momentum in the game, for your offense and things like that. So it was good to see, the turnovers. I mean, it's good that our defense is doing it, and we haven't seen too many, issues on the offense. So let's hopefully they
Mm-hmm.
can keep that up.
Keep it up. Yeah. I
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to Russ, I didn't go into it. Well, you brought it up. You brought up nerves and stuff. We got to remember Russ too. It's been a while, a couple weeks. I think that plays a part of it. But what I thought was really impressive is that like he got booed by the home crowd and it didn't rattle him at all. And he
Yeah,
came out there and it showed why he's a pro, why he's a Hall of Famer.
yeah,
He had a great game from that point on. Really, after that slow start, I think the receiving corps is probably excited and happy that they're going to be able to get a few more passes and not just attempts, but just more conventional routes
yeah,
and passes and stuff. It's gonna be a little less schoolyard from the offense, I think, and that's what Tomlin wanted. I think that's why Tomlin put him in there. I have Tomlin ready to go. Let's see what
yeah,
he had to say in this
yeah,
post game here.
yeah.
Start him up.
Like primetime football at Acrisure, man. I'm just really appreciative of the atmosphere and the quality of play. Thought we got stronger as the game went on in all three phases. Man, we made plays in all three phases. Last night we talked about player performance, particularly on stages such as this, primetime television and so forth. And I just thought we had a lot of guys that displayed player characteristics. Can't say enough about young Beanie Bishop, man. That's an awesome evening, man, for him to get his first 2 interceptions versus a gold jacket guy like Aaron Rodgers, man. We're just appreciative of the work that was done tonight to make the night what it was. Hopefully there's growth in this as we move forward, man. But it's good to get a win. We had a couple of injuries. Mon Adams had a knee injury, wasn't able to return. Dante Jackson had a shoulder injury, wasn't able to return. We had some other bumps and bruises associated with play. But, man, I'm just really appreciative of the efforts of the men. Questions?
So
Yeah,
that one with Dante Jackson. Hopefully he's healthy. He's been playing well for them this year.
yeah.
Adams too. He's a good guy to have there in the middle. Any thoughts on what he had to say there? He always
Yeah.
has the lines, the gold jacket guy. He's
Yeah.
always got to find something there. But it was cool. He mentioned Beanie Bishop just like we did as a guy
Mhm.
that he thought played a big role here today.
Yeah, I want to just real quick take away from what he said about, how they were, they made some big plays on all three phases. This is like 2
Mm-hmm.
weeks in a row now, the special
Yep.
teams, defense, and offense, making plays like this. And it's great to see that, you can make plays on all, facets of the playing field, depending on what's going on, So, getting that block, field goal again tonight was, another thing that it's like the Steelers are doing, they're making plays on all facets of the game, So it was
Mm-hmm.
like I have to, what he said is just, I mean, he just seems like he's happy that things, are kind of, slowly kind of getting into a groove with this team, and
Mm-hmm.
things are working out with all three phases, of this team for sure. So it's really good.
Yeah, we got a message from Working Punch Productions that goes along the same lines. Steelers kept getting better and better tonight, and I think you're right. There's momentum going forward. This was a win where you're like starting to think you're 5-2, and you
Yeah.
don't want to overreact, but it felt like a good win. It felt like everything went the way that the Steelers would want to go,
Yeah.
and there's just good vibes around the team tonight. I think a lot of smiling on the
Mhm.
sidelines. There was a lot of whenever they get that block extra point, the whole special teams went up to Danny Smith and tried to give him a hug, beat
Yeah.
the shit out of him really with all their hugs and bumps
Yeah.
and chest bumps and everything. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. I think this was a good win overall. There's not much more to spin it as other than just a good win for the Steelers. I know the
Sure.
Jets
Yeah.
don't come in with a great record, but they were favorites tonight. They were 2.5-point favorites, and the Steelers,
Yeah.
once they got in a groove, just didn't look back.
Yeah, I mean, when you play like this, this was exactly what they did last week. When you play like this is how the game's supposed to be. You're supposed to put up points like this. You're supposed to make plays like this. You're supposed to put up the yards like this, have the little bit of mistakes and things like that, and win games. Like when you are turning, you're getting turnovers on defense, you're making plays on special team, and the offense is rolling. This is how a game's supposed to be. And now this is 2 weeks in a row, and they definitely have some momentum, like you said, and moving, forward when they're doing this. I mean, this is when they play like this, they are hard to beat. And let's
Mhm.
just hope that this continues on, through the rest of the season.
Yep. Let's get back into Tomlin. I'm sure it's going to be a Russ-filled questioning, but
Yeah.
what do we got here?
How would you evaluate Russ tonight?
I thought he was excellent. I thought he got better as the game went on, man. But I'm not surprised by that, man. It's been a while since he's played some ball, but I thought he settled in, knocked the rust off, man, and distributed the ball around and played well.
Is part of that wanting to see how guys respond to him, how the team plays with Russ under center?
Yes.
Stop it there. It's probably going to be a couple more questions, but hitting both of those there. I think he's right about it. I bet he feels pretty good about making that decision. It was a tough decision to go away from Justin Fields, but maybe they know what they're thinking and know a little bit more than we do when it comes to how good Russell Wilson can be in this offense, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, Mike Tomlin and this organization knew, when they initially were bringing him in, he was going to be the starter. And they're probably seeing a lot in practice that he's showing, like you said, we don't see, behind the scenes of what's going on. And, he can definitely, if he plays like this, he can be the Russell Wilson of old, and like you said, he got better as the game went on, shaking off the rust and, kept doing his thing. So, it was good to just see him out there and, good to see, like you said, the smiles on the side, on the sideline with the other players as well.
Yeah. Once again, we'll put work and punch up there because he's saying the same thing there. The Jets defense has been strong pretty much all year. They gave up 32 to the 49ers week 1, but other than that, their next highest total was 23 points coming into today. And Steelers get 37. So
Yeah, wow.
That's something to look into. There were turnovers, there were short fields there too, but I think that's important to note that this isn't a pushover defense here with the Jets.
No.
And it was pretty good work by the offense there.
Yeah.
Coach, your thoughts on just how the special team continues to respond with splash plays with the blocks?
We got a block culture here that we embrace, and we embrace it with our work during the course of the week, man. We got a lot of guys that put a lot of effort into the techniques that's required to deliver, and so I'm just appreciative of that, man. It's pretty awesome. It is significant, and it has been. I'm appreciative.
So I guess Tom was going to be pissed whenever Elon makes the changes to X to make to the block feature because we got a block culture here in Pittsburgh. I feel bad for him. I know Elon's been hanging around Pittsburgh a lot lately, so maybe if he learns about the Steelers block culture, he'll decide to make it to hold off on those changes for now. But
yeah, it's just Tomlin being Tomlin. What his Tomlinism. I mean, it's every week with his press conference. He's got something. He's got something to say. But I mean, that is something.
It is real what he's talking about. Yeah,
it is real. Yeah, and I think I saw a stat that they said since like 2022 or something, the Steelers have had the most blocked like punts, field goals, or point attempts. And things like that, with like 9 or 10, I think they said. So, I mean, it definitely something is, working for them. So it's good to see.
Yeah, definitely.
You've talked about learning about your players when adversity hits. What did you learn about Russell Wilson tonight?
It was my first time in the stadium with him. And so, I learned a lot about him, to be quite honest with you, but not in reference to the conversation that you're talking about. It was just my first time in the stadium with him. And so, in-game demeanor, communication skills, listening skills. It was a good experience for me.
Consider using Justin at all in any of those short yardage opportunities?
I did not.
What does it say that Russ kept the ball and pushed his way in for that 1-yard rushing touchdown? And what did you learn about maybe his resilience and his strength in that moment?
It was just a sneak.
I'm glad he didn't try to pretend there was something there.
Yeah.
I with some of the short yardages with Justin, the first one, I think the timing of the game may have been a reason why not to do it there because it was still only like 30 seconds left in the half at that point.
Yeah.
But if it were the way the offense was going at that point, we're still looking at a 15-6 game. Maybe you do look to Fields to get a couple rushes there, but I think it made sense because of the timing, and you're probably gonna have to throw the ball a little bit there to keep Russell in the game. What are your thoughts on going forward using Fields in situations like goal line and everything like that?
I mean, we've seen, over, the first 6 weeks, with Justin Fields being able to, use his legs and pick up some yards running, and I mean, if it was like you said, if it was maybe at a different point of the game, maybe I could see it. But like you said,
Mhm.
I think just with the time and when it was in the game, I just don't think it was the right time to throw him in. And then as the game went on and we got to see what Russell was doing in the second half, I mean, it was like, okay, yeah, there's no point to even bring him in
Yeah.
now. I mean, this team is moving and things like that, and then that's something that's going on. I mean, this team is a second half team for some reason this
Yeah.
season. That's what we're seeing,
Mhm.
and so that's just what it is. But yeah, I think it was I didn't see a point as to when really to bring him in. Maybe if the game was still 15-6 or a little bit got out of hand, maybe. But as the game went on and we were rolling, I didn't see a point.
Yeah,
Bring it in.
definitely. Mhm.
About the rapport he seemed to have with George out there.
George in one-on-one circumstances is a good target, and he displayed the reasons why.
Mike, you saw Beanie take some early reps during camp. How have you seen him grow over his opportunities?
He's grown in all areas. There's a lot to cover when you're a rookie, but the one thing I'll say about him is he never shrinks. The situations aren't too big for him, and he's learning. He's open to learning. He has good questions. I meet with him every Friday morning as we lean in on situational ball. He's doing a lot of the little things well, man. He's on a good trajectory.
No comment about whether he blinks or not, but we do know now that Beanie Bishop does not shrink in the big situations.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on both that comment and then we had the George Pickens comment before that? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, Beanie Bishop just, I mean, he stepped up today. We talked about how things happened with that Dallas game, but like you said, you can't point all the blame on him. It was just a rough ending to that game, but he definitely stepped up tonight and made some great plays. And I'm hoping that he can continue this momentum from this game, and maybe become a really good cornerback in this league for us, and so it was just good to see his play out there. It was just really well. With George Pickens, I mean, George Pickens played well tonight. He was the guy that he was my least valuable player, so far in the season, but he made some plays tonight, got himself a touchdown, and what he is one-on-one from what we've seen over the past couple of years. I mean, he can make some plays and things like that. Is he a true number one yet? I don't think so. But right now he is our wide receiver one, and maybe if he can clean up the drama, antics and things like that he's doing. I mean, I think he can be a very talented and great wide receiver in this league. So I'm hoping that he can, with Russell Wilson, whatever, maybe a little connection that maybe they have, hopefully things can, improve on that aspect with him. But, he played very well tonight as well. So it was good to just see him make some plays as well and score a touchdown.
Yeah, I think going on these two guys, big difference in this game is what happened on two tip balls. One that smacks off the Jets helmet, defender's helmet. Pickens is able to grab that ball for a big gain. And then one that hits off the Jets offensive player, and Beanie Bishop's able to get the interception there.
Yeah.
Two tip balls that went into the air made a big difference in this game, I think. And it's I don't know if you want to get into poetry or something. There's something poetic about that, right? Come on,
Yeah.
help me out here.
Was it
No, we'll go back to talk.
two birds of a feather flock together? I don't know.
There we go.
His first interception was kind of a momentum switch for you guys.
Without a doubt. Man, 2-minute football, we know Aaron's going to be aggressive. We switched up the schematics, and he made a significant play, he meaning Beanie.
Coach, it seemed like the smiles, at least from the press box of the players on the field after the win, they really seemed jubilant. Did you feel that in the locker room? I know when a win's a win.
Yeah, man. It's a big win. It's a big win on Sunday Night Ball, man. Heck yeah.
Kind of tying in.
All right, last one.
Kind of tying in with what he said there, you guys have more than 30 on the scoreboard in back-to-back weeks for the first time since 2020. How refreshing is that to have that sort of output in back-to-back weeks?
I hadn't absorbed it in that way, man. Really was trying to do what's required to win. I'm appreciative of their efforts. B. Marshall, what's up? Yes, sir. Let me brace myself.
To go with 3.
That's why.
From East Liberty.
That's why I'm well compensated.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that was pretty sure that was Brandon Marshall there at the end there. B. Marshall. So
Yeah.
I would assume that's him. He's a former Jet, of course, and I know he's doing media now, so I'm pretty sure that's who it was. But that's a great response. That's why he's highly compensated. Who is that? I'm assuming you heard it, but yeah, he asked if that was one of the boldest decisions that he's had to make, going with Russell Wilson, and he said that's why he gets paid. So there we go there. Guess I'll run through the scoring real quick through the drives. The game, it started with a nice drive from the Steelers that ended up with just a field goal there. I couldn't finish off it. I went make it 3-0 Steelers. Next drive for the Jets and the Steelers end in punts, but then the Jets come back with a 9-play, 82-yard drive to make it 7-3. 4 straight punts from the two teams, and then we have the Steelers getting a field goal to make it 7-6. Jets come back, get a touchdown to make it 15-6 on a 6-play, 72-yard drive. Then we got punt. Then we have an interception for the Jets, touchdown for the Steelers to make it 15-3 as we go into half. What were your thoughts at halftime there?
Yeah, I was a little nervous because I initially had picked that they were going to only win that game, like 13-10, I think is what I had predicted, something like that. And I wasn't too I was a little nervous because it was shaky. It did not look good, 15-6 at half. It's like this is just going to be a field goal game for us, So I was a little nervous at half for sure.
Yeah, it was nice to see some bombs from Russell. One ended up with a good catch. Another one ended up with a nice penalty, defensive pass interference. So there were some signs that Wilson was starting to get himself ready to have a good half. But yeah, it was definitely early on. You got the crowd booing you. You got the inability to finish these 2 drives off. Ended up with just two field goals there. There was some concerns, but I wasn't like overly worried at 15-13 once you get to halftime. I thought they played well enough to give you some confidence. So it's halftime. At that point, I don't think anyone was planning on partying, but as Working Punch Production says here, he thinks that Mike Tomlin's heading down to Young Bros Bar, located in the north side. I don't know if it's considered Brighton Heights still, but it's on the edge there, Brighton Heights, down by the river, down by the Penn. But then we come out for the second half. Jets come out. They go 4 plays, 21 yards at the punt. Steelers get a field goal right after that to finally take the lead, make it 16-15. Next play, we got 2 plays later, interception. Another one from Beanie Bishop. He almost takes this one in for a touchdown, ends up getting tackled at the 1-yard line. Steelers are able to get in 1 play, 1 yard. Nice Russell Wilson touchdown there, making it 23-15. And the Steelers just didn't look back from there. They got a missed field goal from the Jets, came back again for 11 plays, 75-yard touchdown to make it 30-15. The Jets go driving 9 plays, 45, but they can't finish that drive off. They end up having to go for it on 4th down. They fail on that 4th down attempt. Steelers come back and get another touchdown, 13 plays, 75 yards, a 7-minute, 27 second drive to end that game, pretty much make it 37-15. These last couple drives from the Steelers is what you want to see from the team. You got 11 plays, 75, 13 plays, 75, and that's a total of almost 13 minutes of time of possession between those 2 drives alone. That was good work from the offense there at the end there.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, that second half, that's, they started, moving the ball down the field, and the defense was making stops, and the special team was making plays. And, that's, again, this is what, you want to see when you want to win a game. You play like this, how they played tonight. You get the yards on offense, you make stops and get turnovers on defense, and you make the plays that need to be made on the special teams, and you win games. And when you put up 30 points like this, this is how you're supposed to win. When you win the turnover game, you're supposed to win games like this, and they came out and they played. and that second half, and they didn't, like you said, they didn't look back after that second half of that game, and put their foot on the pedal and kept moving. And this is how it is. Two 30-point wins in a row, guys. The reporter says since 2020, which has been 4 years, so that's crazy. Hopefully they can continue this trajectory and keep keeping the foot on the gas, because after we got one more week where we should win a game, and then we got the bye. It's going to start getting a little scary, going downhill. So let's hope they can build some momentum from what they've done from these past 2 games and keep things moving.
Yeah, the performance today was a performance you see from a contending team. They got a team that came in here as a favorite, but it's been struggling. They were 2-4, and they showed why. They showed the difference between 5-2 and 2-5 with the win there today. And you can try to talk it and spin it all however you want to do it. Tomlin made the right choice, it seems like, at least through week 1, by going to Russell Wilson. He looked like he commanded the offense there in the second half for sure. Those drives were just amazing. And you don't want to get too hyperbolic or anything like that, but I think the Steelers are going to be, if they can play like they play today, they're going to be able to compete for the AFC. And that's not something I believe. After last week, even with the 4-2 record, I did not think there was any shot of the Steelers really making it to the AFC Championship game or making it to the Super Bowl. But this performance here gives you some hope that you might be able to win a title this year, win the AFC this year, whatever it may be. I know there's obviously teams out there. The Ravens we're going to have to see. We're going to see the Chiefs. There's some teams we're going to be able to see in the AFC before the end of the season. You need the health. You need Russell to keep playing the way he did tonight, and I think there's some hope here, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely some hope. I just, like I said, I hope they can continue on this trajectory. Have some momentum from these 2 games, and being 5-2 right now, leading the division. Barring whatever happens tomorrow night. It's good to just see them atop of the division right now and playing well and playing like a contending team. And maybe Working Punch Productions is right. Maybe Mike is partying tonight down Young Bros. Who knows? We'll see.
You never know.
You never know.
I think it's time for us to start partying and end this episode. Good Steelers win 37-15. We'll see you later this week for the podcast, right?
Sounds good. Yeah. Shout out to the Dodgers going to the World Series against the Yankees, and shout out to the New York Liberty winning the WNBA championship.
I'm sure it was a barn burner tonight. And actually, I did see it was an overtime game, so maybe it was a barn burner. But here we go, Steelers.
Here we go, Steelers.
5-2, heading into next week.